Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm basically going to show you guys on my analysis, all right, of the pairs that I'm going to be trading from the 10th of August, all right, to the 15th of August 2026. Here we're going to start with this pair here, which is silver, right? So as you can see right here, we are on the silver, and if you look at it carefully, what silver is doing currently, silver is in a massive downtrend. If you can look at it, it's in a downtrend. You can see right here. So and market has pulled up to this place. So I'm going to show you guys everything that I've analyzed and why I think I'm looking for sales in silver coming this week. So first of all, I'm in the 4-hour time frame. So if I should come over to the daily time frame, I'm going to see right here. But first thing first, we're going to start from the weekly time frame. That's how I analyze markets, basically from the weekly. But if you can see weekly, last week candle closes bullish. So bullish, right? As you can see right here, you guys, that last week closes bullish, and it is in a very strong resistance zone, because if you can see the way I use market structure, you can see that market from here come down, lower low, lower high, lower low here, come up here to create another lower high. So I'm expecting another downward move from where it is currently. Are you getting me now? But you can't just start selling anyhow, right? You need to also go down to the lower time frame to look if there's going to be a possible reversal. But right now I'm just seeing this particular move here as a reversal, right? So coming back to the daily time frame, or let's what's on the daily time frame. If on the time frame, you can actually see what's happened right here. You can see that the market is also on a downtrend on the daily time frame. If you look at it from this point, market moved down, created a lower low, a lower high, another lower low here, come back here for another lower high, right? So these are my two possible sell zone. Here it is currently is my first sell zone area, right? I can decide to sell from here. Do you understand? Which is here my first sell zone area, and here my second sell zone area. So if the market does not sell from the, I didn't get an entry from this my first sell area, then I'm looking for it to come over to this my second sell area, right? That's how I use market structure. What I will do is to look out for a possible reversal, candlesticks or pattern at this zone. So coming to the 4-hour, right, you can actually see that I'm just waiting for, so you can see the market has been bullish, right, on the 4-hour. Right, as you can see from here now, you can see the market from here. This is a higher high, creating an equal high there before it breaks up, create another higher high, and lower high. So anyway, I see like markets do something like this and shifted bearish, I'm looking to sell this market. That's what I'm looking at to get in this coming week. Now remember, this is not going to be an instant execution. No, we're going to wait to see if market is going to give us a change in market delivery at this point, right? If that happens, that means we're going to be shorting our silver from this point to the downside. Okay, so for the week, I'm going to be bearish on silver only if markets show me signs. If not, there are still very much possibility that market will decide from where it is now, push up to this zone before even thinking of us selling down again. So you need to be very, very careful whatever you are doing. You need to wait, have patience to see what will happen at this zone currently. All right, so let's go to another pair that I want to also analyze. Let's go to gold, right? So let's go to gold now. So I know that I have a lot of gold traders on my channel. Now here is gold, and you can see from a high time frame as well, gold is also in a downtrend. All right, I don't know when this is going to stop, but currently from my market structure, gold is in a downtrend, because you can see here now high low, equal high, lower low here, lower high, lower low again, and here now you're going to get this our lower high at this zone. So what I'm saying is basically is that if you look here now, you can see that it's actually on this resistance zone, right? If you still come to our weekly time frame, because that last week also closes bullish, it's a massive engulfing candlestick. So now what it means for me is that there is high possibility that gold can break where it is currently and keep buying. Remember, the way I use market structure, I'm actually on my first sell zone area. This is my first sell zone area and my second sell zone area. So if gold decides to break above here, then what I will do is to wait patiently for a retest, and I'll buy into this zone for a possible sell, right? That does not mean that if I seal a reversal at this zone currently where it is, that I will not sell. I will sell because the way I use market structure, gold is in a bearish trend currently, right? But if gold can decide to break above here, no problem, wait for it at this zone, right? Let's come to 4 hours, so this will make more sense. Now on 4 hour, you can see it's almost the same thing with silver, right? Almost something with silver. You can see that gold now is now in a bullish trend. So you can see here now, you create this higher high, create this equal highs and lows here before market breaks up to the upside. Now you can see. So if we see a shift in market delivery at this our first sell zone area, we can sell, right? We can sell here. But if we do not see, and we basically see something like this going into next week, which is a break above this zone, then wait for a retest here, and our stop loss is going to be anywhere below this zone, and we buy to the next, it's in the next sell zone area. So that's basically what I'm looking at on gold, going into the week. All right, so let's go to another pair that I'll be trading within the week, which is going to be USDCAD. Let me show you what I'm looking at USDCAD right here. So coming to USDCAD, now we're going to start from the weekly as well. Coming to the weekly time frame, let's see what is happening on the weekly. All right, now here on weekly, you can see that as well the market is now in a bullish trend, because if you look at it carefully, you can see that the market has been doing something like this, higher high, higher low, equal lows, and we have here another higher high. So this higher high now, this is another higher low for me, because this place now is a very support area, the place this particular market is. So I'm looking out for a buys at this my first buy area, and here is my second buy area. So now currently the market is at my first buy area on the weekly time frame, but we don't buy on the weekly, we just go down to the daily, look at what's happening on daily. You can see it's still also in line with the conference we have in the weekly, because this is a support zone. Here is a resistance turn to support. Here you can see here, come back here now as now support. So this particular zone is a very strong zone in the market, and you cannot just neglect it. Okay, so we're looking for a possible reversal at this our first buy area, and if it breaks below here, we're going to be waiting for it to come back to this our second buy area, right? So what I mean is, in essence, is that if you come to the 4-hour time frame, you're going to see that the market is in this particular zone. Which zone here we are is our first buy zone. All right, because the way I use market structure is also very simple. You can see from here the market has been bearish, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right here. So if by any means we get a shift in market delivery in this particular zone, then we can buy from here to the upside, right? But for whatever reason market decides to break below here, all right, for whatever reason market decides to, okay, I'm going to break below this place, then we are cool. We're going to wait for a pullback right here. Our stop loss will be above this place, and we sell down to our second buy area. It's as simple as that. Okay, so we just have to wait and see what's going to be the outcome of the market during the week. So it's basically what I'm looking at I'm looking to trade on USDCAD going into next week, right? So let's look for another pair that I'm also looking at for, but this is my analysis going into next week on USDCAD. So if you trade USDCAD, right, this is going to be this is my analysis on it. But remember that there's difference between analyzing markets and also taking a trade. So I'm analyze the market, and you also need to know how to execute. That are two different things basically, right? So let's go for my other pair that I've analyzed that I'm going to possibly trading going into next week, which is going to be EURAUD. So EURAUD is another pair that I'm looking at to trade, going into next week. All right, if the market really do what I want it to do basically. So let's go to the weekly time frame. Like coming here to the weekly time frame, what are we seeing on EURAUD? EURAUD right here has been on a bullish trend, and all these things you are seeing here is a reversal. All these things you are seeing is a reversal, and we're already in this support zone right here on the weekly. So anything on weekly is a very strong zone. I hope you know that. Okay, now if you come down to, which means all this place now is our buy area, right? Buy area. Okay, so if we go down to daily time frame, let's see what market is showing us on daily time frame. Now the way I use market structure on the daily time frame is very simple. What you can see is from here we have a push up, push down, and from here we got our shift market structure to be bullish on the daily, and boom, we are here now. So we're looking for a possible buy around this zone to continue buying up. The only time I'll have mind to sell is when I see a break below this zone, then a retest sell will sell down. But for now, I'm clearly much bullish on Euro AUD, right? So if you come to the 4-hour, what I will say for on the 4-hour, if you come to the 4-hour, you can see the way I've analyzed the market on the 4-hour, right? So you can see that the market, I'm waiting for market to drop from where it is currently to this zone. So if I can see a retest at this zone from where it is now, right, so I can see a retest at this zone, then I'm going to buy to this point. Okay, I have different points of different take profit points, but like I said, the only time I'll be bearish on Euro AUD is if I see a break below here, then a retest here, and I'll sell down. But for now, I'm pretty much bullish. All right, I'm pretty much bullish on Euro AUD, and this is my final analysis. Remember, it's one thing to analyze, the another different thing entirely to also execute the market. So you also need to have your own way to execute trade, but there are different methods for that way to execute markets. You also need to learn your own, right? So what is what I'm waiting for. So if I see an extra pullback down to this zone here, then I'll be entering the market from that zone, right? You can see come down to 1 hour, and also you can see very clearly, right? This is my entry zone here on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so that is for the Euro AUD. Another pair that I'm looking at for this week, right, is also going to be the NASDAQ. Now let's go to the NASDAQ. Now look at NASDAQ and look at what has happened over the time. So NASDAQ is pretty much bullish. Is very much is a bullish market right now, right? So what I'm looking here in the NASDAQ is very simple. So market is coming. If you come to the weekly time frame, what we're going to see here is very simple. It has been a bullish week for the past week. NASDAQ has been so bullish. So what I'm looking for is the continuous buy. You can see this is a massive bullish engulfing candle last week. So I'm looking for a continuous buy, at least to take out these liquidities you are seeing right here. Okay, but before then, you need to consider other things. Don't just come and start buying, right? So you might possibly see a first sell to downside before it pushes. So you just need to follow what the market is giving you at a time. Now coming to the daily time frame, is there anything here that is confusing? No, it is still very much bullish. Last week closes with a massive engulfing daily candlestick. So let's come to the 4-hour, right? Now my 4-hour is what I'm looking for on NASDAQ. So currently this market may stuck on this range. That's what I mean here. This market may decide to range a little bit here before breaking above, right, or before breaking below. But anyways, what I'm waiting for, because I'm bullish going into next week, or possibly we might first of all get a bearish move. What I mean is that we first of all get this bearish move here, right, before we buy. But if you want to be so conservative, I would advise you wait. If you don't know how to trade within this zone, because this is a range now, you don't know how to trade within this zone. What you have to do is simple, right? You need to sit on your hands and wait for market to do these two things. That the market breaks above here, then wait for a pullback, catch on this pullback here, your stop loss below here, and you buy to the next zone, or you wait to see if the market is going to break below here, then catches on the pullback and you sell. For me, I'm pretty much bullish going into next week, right? But anything can happen in Forex, so you just have to be, you cannot just predict and say that this is what must happen. You need to just follow the market and react according to what is happening on the current chart. Okay, so these two things will happen. It's either it breaks below and keep up going up, or you wait for a break above for a retest and you continue buying to the upside. This is the two things I'm waiting for to happen on a particular market, right? Now the last one I'm going to look out for is US30. So that's going to be the one on the last one on my list is US30, which is this. Now US30 is pretty much same thing like NASDAQ. So US30, you can see that going to the weekly time frame, you can see this massive weekly candlestick, very massive. So apparently I would like to see a pullback a bit before we continue buying, right? And I think it's already happening. So if you come down to the daily time frame, you can see the same thing. We have a very massive engulfing candlestick. I think that should be on Wednesday, this particular candlestick now, and that has been the thing that has been pushing the market down. So if you come to 4 hours for us to plot our zones now, what I'm looking at is a possibility of this market dropping down to this zone. It might drop down to this zone before buying. I see something that it did, he did here in the past before going up is similar of what might really happen here before it can keep going up again. So these are the two scenarios I'm waiting or to see happening on US30. So you need to have patience and see what the market is doing. But my buy zones is basically from this point. I'm looking to buy at this point here, and this is my first buy area. If it breaks here, we will go to our second buy area. So for I'm going to see a pullback here. All right, then boom, we go. That's my analysis going into next week. So you can also look for sales. Look for if you're looking for a sell here, I will advise you to basically look for a retest at this zone. This is how I trade. If you want to sell before you buy, wait for a retest at this zone. Do you understand? Wait for a retest at this zone. That's how I do it. Wait for a retest at this zone. So if you can wait for markets to pull back here, you sell down here. All right, before you can look for a buy. That's what I'm also anticipating to happen. So if you want to sell this market, that's going to be the next thing for you to wait for market to pull back to that zone, then you sell down here. All right, or you can simply wait for market to come to your buy area. Since you are much bullish, okay, then you buy to the upside. All depends on how you trade your own and manage your risk. Okay, so guys, this is all I have for you in this video, and I hope you're going to get value in it. If you get it, please give me a like and subscribe on my channel. Okay, and I'm going to see you guys on my next upload. And until next time, guys, peace out.